Welcome back to another stock market open live stream. Today we are at the beginning of earnings week. This is going to be a very big deal. This week will be everything. It will define the success of the consumer. It will define whether this dippy doodla is just the beginning or if it's the end of the dip in the NAS. We've got, I mean, there is a lot of opinion on all sides. Personally, I think if we continue to have days or periods of time like we had Friday, we would end up seeing, frankly, recession-inducing pain. And that's mostly because of the cycle of how stock performance can eventually affect earnings through the cycle of layoffs and less consumer discretionary spending. This is something that we touched on yesterday, so if you haven't seen that video yet on the main channel, make sure to watch that. But as far as today, we should jump into some of the news for today. We'll have some insights today, though most of our earnings will be coming out as usual Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So the big question now will be, do we get a bounce that lasts today, or are we going to have sideways trading until we actually get some of the good old earnings? We are looking for today, pre-market would be mostly just something like we'll get a Verizon post-close. We'll get Alexandria Real Estate Equities, Albertsons reports here in the morning, so we'll take a peek at some of these. And then, of course, tomorrow is when we really get into entertainment: Visa, Tesla, Pepsi, and some of the others that we'll be paying much closer attention to. So, yeah, big week. And then, of course, this week will be followed by quite a big week as well, because we'll be having a good old visit from J Powell, May 1st. J Powell, and we'll see if we end up getting J Powell right in the face. That'll be May 1. The only real data that might be useful, I don't even realize how potentially much, but that we might get between now and then other than earnings would be PCE. But remember, PCE is really driven by the CPI, right? So we take pieces of CPI and PPI, and then after we have pieces of CPI and PPI, we put together PCE. So we shouldn't be too horribly surprised by what we're going to end up getting. Of course, it'll still be something that we'll pay attention to. Of course, we'll cover it. But I'm not horribly jumping up and down about, oh, well, we'll get PCE and maybe it'll come in better. We can actually pull up the estimates here for PCE as well. So we'll go through estimates on PCE, and then we'll take a peek at some of the earnings that are starting to come in this morning. As far as the pre-market, it's mostly green, as you can see here. Let's go ahead and search by winners and losers. You've got Trump down 4%. You've got Tesla down 4%. Tesla's likely down not because of ambitions over robotaxi, but rather because of pain over the fact that we got price cuts again. Now, we had an April 1st sort of promise that maybe price cuts would be over because prices were being raised $1,000, and now that we've dropped prices $2,000, we've kind of gone back where we were since we've had a couple $1,000 price increases. But clearly, the $2,000 cut again here signals that the era of price cuts may not be over. It was useful to see prices for a moment start rising and FSD enthusiasm grow. But that was quickly eaten away when we saw price cuts again this weekend. PCE is actually going to be out, let's see, on the 26th. We'll get PCE month over month, expected to be 0.3, year over year, expected to be 2.6, core deflator expected to be 0.3, and core deflator year over year expected to be 2.7. Then we will get GDP annualized numbers for Q1. I don't really expect much of a surprise there, 2.5%. And those come out on the 25th. So those will come out in about 3 days. Today, we get the Chicago Activity Index, came in at 0.15 versus the 0.07 expected. Then we'll get PMIs tomorrow from the S&P, new home sales tomorrow, and some durable good orders on Wednesday. So nothing super exciting. Okay, very well. Let's now jump over to some of the earnings activity that we're seeing, and let's see what's inside. All right, so we'll pull this up here. Take just a moment. There we go. Okay. In the meantime, we are seeing a little bit of a recovery in BTC, which is nice post-halving. We'll throw up BTC here. Post-halving, we can see we're sitting at almost 66,000, which obviously it's lower than where we have been, knocking on the door of that 70, but it is indicative of at least somewhat of a rebound. Remember, after some of those Israeli strikes, we did get as low as about 59.9, so we've had a nice bounce since there. Nice 20-ish%-ish, so not bad. And yeah, let's take a look if we can get. So Visa again tomorrow, Albertsons, let's see what we have. And then Verizon, yep. Albertson, Q4 adjusted EPS comes in at 54 cents versus 51, that's good. You've got identical sales coming in at 1% versus the estimate of 1.17. Okay, so a little bit of a plus and minus there. We've got committed to defending merger in court. Okay. So let's see how the stock's performing. It's actually not too much information on it, but it seems like a slight miss and a slight beat. And you're down 3.5% on that. See, now, this is, I mean, I realize this is just Albertsons, but this is part of my concern. Part of my concern is that we're going to be in this environment of, slight beat, slight miss, you got it, down 3% or down 4% or whatever it is. I think the markets are likely to be somewhat unenthused with every sort of type of earnings that we get, where even beats end up getting punished, which is really unfortunate because it doesn't really encourage companies to beat. I mean, I guess missing would be worse, so you still want to beat, but it's depressing. So, what are you going to do? All right, so Albertsons, we'll call this one, this is a, let's see here. Just trying to see, divestiture count, Kroger. Yeah, I mean, not much here other than their adjusted EPS coming in a little stronger and their identical sales coming in a little weaker. So adjusted sales could also, or adjusted EPS could also come in stronger because of cuts to, labor or operational efficiencies. So adjusted, I'll write that down, adjusted EPS beats 54 cents versus 51 expected. However, identical sales up 1% versus 1.17%, slight miss. Stock at the moment in pre-market, stock down 3.49% in pre-market. All right, so let's see about Verizon. How are they doing? Okie dokie. Verizon. Oh, Verizon. No, you can't think about that this way, Robbie. So the problem, Robbie, is it's not the media that's focusing on EV car sales being down, although that's popular. You have to remember, if you're referring to Tesla, which I think you are, you have to remember that Tesla was built on a valuation of growth, right? You're trading for a 60 to 90 price to earnings ratio, whereas the other car manufacturers are trading for like a 9 price to earnings ratio, right? They're valued at 1/5, 1/10 as much as Tesla is, and the reason for that is Tesla was supposed to be representative of growth, and so That, I think, is why people are focusing on EV sales changes. It's not the media's fault. It's that the promise was, oh, yes, EVs are going to grow, 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 grow. And obviously, be it interest rates or preferences or whatever, that's what the shock is. It's not like because of the media these stocks are doing poorly, the EVs. It's like a chicken or egg problem. And the reality is the valuations and hope were so high for EVs that when those hopes failed, that's the story that's being covered. It's the failure, really, of growth. Verizon, let's see here. Okay, so Verizon comes in with adjusted Q1, let's see, Q1 adjusted EPS at 1.15 versus 1.12 expected. I hate this company. And let's see here. Sees fiscal year wireless service revenue growth 2 to 5%. Forecast 2 to 3.5% growth. Okay. Then we have operating revenue comes in at a slight miss, so higher cost probably. Operating 33 billion. Let's see here. Is that after their gross margin? I'd have to look at their financial statements. But anyway, 33 bill versus the estimate of 33.21. And then, so their adjusted EPS beat and their fiscal year forecast on adjusted EPS comes in at a slight beat, $4.60 at the midpoint. And expectation was 4.57. So this is actually good. It should be fine. Ooh, Albertsons just went positive. That's good. So I don't think this is a bad report from what I'm seeing here. Yeah, the stock's up about 1.6%. So let's see here. Albertsons just popped. Let's see here. Let's see what's going on with Albertsons. Let's see. Okay, Albertsons. Let's go back to that. Albertsons. What changed? We just went from positive to, or from negative to positive there really fast. Albertsons. Expanded, let's see. No, it might just be their earnings call that's going on, but I'm not actually seeing anything in particular coming through. Is Kroger, Albertsons and Kroger are still trying to defend their merger. Yep. Somebody says the Q's just popped as well. Did they? Let's see what's going on. Oh, you're right. Yeah, look at that pop. Yeah, that is very interesting. Okay, let me see if any... Yeah, the whole market woke up. Yeah, no kidding. Let's see here. Just want to see if anything within the last 5-10 minutes here. No. No, actually. Yeah. No. Not seeing a particular reason for that. So, but whatever. Again, what you want to see a bounce today. You don't want more pain today. And that is what you're getting over at Tesla. You're down about, hey, 427. It's almost like the 420 party. It's not what I thought Elon meant when he said he was having a 420 party. Let's see here. Green market today. Hopefully. Seeing major open sales interest and order book indicator for some of these. Does that lag from last week? Could be. Maybe people see green this morning, and then maybe what you'll see is you'll see a cancellation of that sale interest. So we'll see. None of his tweets are about Tesla. Easy money. I think you're talking about Tesla, yeah. Or about Elon, rather. Yeah, it's that's tough. Well, the growing graveyard of too costly repairs for Tesla is hilarious. I mean, I think EVs will still be the future. That thesis hasn't really changed. It's just the growth stories in the toilet. I know that repairing them, yeah, that makes sense. That was very That was unfortunate for Hertz because you had a double-sided, hit there. Number one, they had to take losses on their balance sheet because the value of the Teslas depreciated so rapidly thanks to the price cuts. But then also they were more expensive to repair just because you don't have the full repair infrastructure yet. Okay. I'm feeling bullish after all the liquidity being run down and only bad news out here. Yeah. I know the contrarian feeling. The problem that I've found is usually it doesn't pay to be too early on like, trying to call the contrarian move. That's like, let's say you go into the Qs. Wow, Qs are up 69 bips now. So you go into the Qs and you're like, all right, boys and girls, time to buy the dip. So you buy the dip here, then you get a little bit of a bounce, and then you're like, see, I was right. And then the real, pain comes, and then you're down another 1 or 2 fib levels, and then it's like, I guess I gotta keep buying the dip. So, patience, I think, is very valuable. I'm keeping some cash. Again, I don't want to see a recessionary dynamic unfold, but I do think correction over the next period of time is not to be unexpected. But SMCI, I'm trying to get a little bit of a bounce here, but oof, it's a rough one. Looks like this morning you've got a little move here on AMC up again, 3%. You're in that $3 range. And Trump to the downside. Are we moving around? Yeah, playing that $35 again. Yeah. Look at Enphase, though, down at 106. As long as you don't have, like, really bad news today, you could have, like, a violent rebound on some of the smaller ones that end up being up 4 or 5% or something. It just all depends on people's expectations. Yeah, we'll see. Kevin, will you ever re-enter Tesla? So my thesis was to re-enter Tesla after 30 days. Frankly, we sold somewhere between like 172 and 176. And the idea was just sell the tax lots that are upside down and tax loss harvest a bit, right? And the thought was, hey, you know what? Just based on the trading that we're seeing here, there should be not much news between now and earnings, and you'll be able to rebuy 30 days later. Well, we got lots of news. We got layoffs, we got job cuts, we got some progress on FSD. I mean, the amount of news that came out over the last 30 days with Tesla was absolutely insane. And so my thesis was to rebuy after 30 days because it was just a short-term loss harvest move. Mostly to offset some of the massive gains that you got in companies like NVIDIA and otherwise. And so I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is easy. Well, holy smokes, now you're in a different world. Now you're in a situation where, you've got this massive comp package for Elon that a lot of people are worried about, that if it doesn't pass, Elon's going to quit. I don't think he's going to quit, but you've got the level of uncertainty over the last about 40 days now has risen so ridiculously. It's not a surprise the stock is moving down more because the level of uncertainty is so well. The canceling of the $25,000 car or the compact car. Now, I know a lot of people try to argue, oh, well, it's not canceled. It's just robotaxi. Okay, all right. Well, then it's substantially delayed. But yeah, it's a tough one to say, oh yeah, just instantly rebuy now, especially because it's not just Tesla. You have to align now the broader market's U-turn. I started going cash more strongly at the beginning of March because I thought there would be some kind of market correction. Of course, I got chastised for even making that suggestion. What do you mean? We're going to all-time new highs, Kevin. Well, I guess everybody forgot the volatile part of the volatile Nike swoosh. But it's okay. People did last time as well. So, oh well, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, and that's going to go to like 22 different cities in the next like 8 days. That's going to be crazy. That's going to be a lot. If you want to be there, by the way, to potentially invest in a house hack, make sure you go to househack.com/RSVP. You could also just go to metkevin.com/roadshow. It doesn't matter. Whatever's easier for you. It'll redirect to the same place. But yeah, we got a little, if you go to househack.com/RSVP or metkevin.com/roadshow, you could fill in your info, and then you'll be able to get this list of 22 different cities that we're going to. That'll include Chicago, just off the top of my head, Chicago, Miami, Orlando, Teterboro for those in Manhattan. Toronto, she'll be going to Toronto, Spokane, Seattle, Long Beach, San Diego, Dallas, Orlando. I think Tampa's in there too. I don't know. It's going to be amazing. So I hope you can make it, especially if you're interested in investing in House Hack. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, we moved up our fundraising deadline on House Hack to May 1st. So if you haven't seen the video yet explaining all that, you can go to the House Hack YouTube channel, and then I won't take any more time from here. So, all right, let's go write some things down. Let's see. Texas, yeah, Dallas. I think we have 3 locations we're going to in Dallas. I think it's Dallas, Houston, and Austin. I think we're doing. Virginia's in there for those of you in like DC and such. So I think that'll be neat too. So that'll be neat. Yeah. So, okay, yeah, to finish the question. Right, so we were just talking about that, the rebuying Tesla problem. Yeah, I mean, again, like now you're combining this market correction period with, not the best news at Tesla. Growth rates clearly falling, and we'll probably have some pain with that for the next year or so. I really believe in the Tesla long-term vision, so the time will come. I just don't know when that is. I think you need some of the delusion to go away first. Like, if you go on Twitter, X, there's a lot of delusion. And I think when you start seeing that delusion turn into abject fear, that's when you're going to be closer to a bottom. Like when some of the, the most vocal Tesla bulls are like, I've had to sell a little bit, pay a margin call or my bills or whatever. Like that's, I mean, I hate to say it, but that's probably when you're getting closer. When the Elon can do no wrong cult is starting to flip a little bit. And of course the argument today will be, that'll never happen. Okay. All right. Whatever. So, but yeah, the broader market will be an issue as well, as will JPOW, right? I mean, if we get JPOW'd into the face, that's going to be, that's May 1st. We'll see what we get. But JPOW already started laying the hints about some hotness, right? The Fed will matter again. We are now, what are we away? We're now, I'm gonna write this down. We're now nine days away from JPOW. Remember, the last time JPOW spoke, he started focusing again on not having received, not having gained confidence, and sort of washed away the idea that the first 3 months were just bumps. Now, the market didn't initially react to that, but I would say that would be a big warning beyond just earnings, right? This is a big risk factor, getting a hawkish Powell next Wednesday. So I'm not highly enthused by that. So I'll buy when Kathy lowers her price target. I see what you're saying. I don't think she will. And, Ross and Kevin shorting Tesla. I'm not short Tesla. I wish I was short Tesla today because it's down 4.2%, but I'm not short Tesla right now. But I don't think that Kathy will. Kathy is, you have to remember what kind of investor she is. Her time horizon is so long, and I think even 5 years is a discount to her true time horizon. She's really trying to look down the road 30 years and say, what is our future going to look like in 30 years? And that will always be defended. The problem with that is, like if you're investing in the short term and you have, your housing down payment or your the startup capital for your business invest in stocks, you're screwed, So that's not great. So yeah, let's see here. What is this? Yeah. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I've been watching you since 2020. Thank you for all the information you've provided. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Fear and greed is in the fear category. Is this really the top of the bubble? Doesn't seem like it. Yeah, you have to remember that greed and fear moves very rapidly. It's really, this needle can move so fast. The way to look at this, though, is just look at last July. Let's do it together, because I don't know. So let's look together. So look at this. July 19th, we had a top. So July 19th, the market topped. And look at this. You were in fear within a month. So within a month, you were in fear. But look at this. This is what I think is being missed. You went to neutral and then to extreme fear. So in other words, you had 3.5 months of hell last summer. And it started by being in fear. Like, fear was just the start. You have to go through the extreme fear cycle first. We're not there yet. In fact, if we get a little rebound this week, we'll just be mirroring what we did last week. So you gotta be careful on that one. Entire world economy is lower. Consumers are at their limit. It's likely. Gary Black tweeted yesterday that he should have sold all of his Tesla months ago. Well, I mean, theoretically, everyone who owns Tesla should have sold their stocks months ago because they would have, saved money. I'm not saying that, like, that's, you're anti the mission if you sell Tesla stock. It's a freaking stock. It's ownership and an investment. And the reality is you're investing to make money. So, no duh. I mean, if you, sold at 175 and now you could rebuy at 140, you'd be up 20%. Or you would have saved the 20% down draw, right? But again, you can't play woulda, coulda, shoulda in stocks. If I could play woulda, coulda, shoulda in stocks, I'd be, I would have been out at, 260 or whatever, where we were last year. I feel like most of the Tesla news is pretty priced in. 135 has a lot of support. We haven't even touched 135 yet. Where do you see 135 as a support? I have a fib line at 131. So you don't think there will be any guidance in the Tesla earnings call? Well, you have to be careful with Elon in the earnings calls, because generally what I expect with Elon in earnings calls is this is not the place for product announcements. Wait for the Robotaxi event on the 8th. Let's just say it's going to be great. I still think we're going to be worth more than Apple and Saudi Aramco combined. Then he's going to get asked about price cuts, and he's just going to go, well, interest rates are really high, so it sucks. Next question. And then he'll get frustrated with the analysts. Yeah. So I actually think we are going to Nashville. Steven says, air traffic control here. We do not need more traffic. I literally think we are going to Nashville. Let me see. Maybe it's an airport outside. Let's see. Select. I thought we were. Yeah, it's in there. Nashville. KBNA. What is that? Oh, Nashville International Airport. Dang it, Steven. Looks like you're going to have to make some room for my pee-pee. It's very large. Okay, so let's see here. Come on, Kevin, for real. We are upside down on bond for the longest time I can recall, and close to all-time high on stocks with only 6 of them driving the whole market. This doesn't make any sense. Right. I mean, to me, it sounds like you're saying, like, when the 6 roll, everything rolls. Yeah, probably. Probably. Very clever timing for Meta's AI announcements. Yeah, conveniently right before earnings. Yeah, let's see here. Oh, that's awesome, Bitcoin man. Can't wait to see you. You know, we tried for like 3 months to work with Coinbase to allow investors to invest with crypto. You know, but it's just it's like didn't really go anywhere. It's been a little frustrating with Coinbase. I mean, it's not like a critical deal. We'll get there eventually, but well, it ain't gonna be anytime soon. I think honestly, I think, and it's good for Coinbase, but I think they've gotten so busy after the run in crypto that they are way understaffed. Dalton says, Kevin, your negativity is laughable, fear-mongering and creating panic for no reason. Markets are fine and will be higher in the future. Chill. Yeah, okay. Well, at least I'm just gonna be honest with my opinions. I said 6 weeks ago, I'm raising cash, I'm going to cash because I see things turning, and now the turn is happening. So I guess you could choose to continue to live in the deluded world of, it'll all be fine. Eventually it will be. The question is, you're going to survive it. Tokenize house hack. You know, what's interesting is if you tokenize a real estate investment, which we can easily do, if you tokenize real estate, you basically have to register it with the SEC as a security. It's basically the same thing as being a stock. And so if your infrastructure is too expensive on tokenizing real estate, it doesn't matter that it's a token. You know, it may as well be a security. So that's a little unfortunate. Yeah. I'm not saying people are saying going crazy buying Coinbase. I'm saying a lot of people might be trying to bring business to them. They keep trying to sponsor me too, Coinbase, which is ironic. It's like, well, if you want to sponsor me, maybe process our application. I mean, they are processing it. It's just so slow. Like they'll send us an email, and we'll send them an email back, and we won't hear from them for like 10 days, and then. Yeah, it reminds me of the good old underwriting strategies. The old school underwriters, they'd like have a pile of all your papers on their desk, and then they'd look at it and they find one thing wrong, and they're like, you did this wrong, and they kick it back to you, and then they don't look at all the other papers, so that way the next time it comes to their desk, they're like, okay, good, you fixed that. Oh, but you didn't fix that. And then you're like, well, why didn't you just tell us about both of those the first time? Nope. It's not how it works. Yeah. All right. So let's see what else we can get here. All right. Let's jump for a moment over here. Let's see what the Sin Sizzles has for us today.
Did you see that? You saw that. Did you think about me? I thought about you when I read that. You don't? Do you ever think about me?
Can I say happy Passover, everybody?
Yeah. Happy Passover.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom. Make sure you join us tomorrow. Squawk on the Street coming up right now.
Good Monday morning. Welcome to Squawk on the Street. I'm Carl Quintanilla with Jim Cramer, David Faber at Post 9 of the New York Stock Exchange. Futures pretty solid as some Mideast tensions ease. Oil falls below 83. The House passes some foreign aid. And we get set for a third of S&P market cap to report earnings this week.
Oh.
Our roadmap's going to begin.
No way. CoStar Group to buy Matterport for $5.50 a share? Holy crap, dude. That freaking stock's like gonna double. No way. Oh, more than double. Whoa. Wow. Matterport holders to get $275 in cash $2.75 in shares of CoStar. Whoa, that is a big deal. Now, what's interesting is CoStar is a real estate company. Holy crap. They're the commercial property company, so they're going to buy it out. That's crazy news. Holy crap. So CoStar has a market cap of $34 billion. They do like LoopNet and data analytics and stuff for real estate. They're going to take all the data. Whoa, that's a brilliant move. Wow, that's really, really brilliant. Oh my gosh, I'm like jealous. Wow, that's a huge buyout. So, yeah, I mean, God, that's like $1.2 billion or something like that. But anyway, so let's write this down. Matterport, CoStar, the commercial real estate company that runs LoopNet.com, is buying Matterport for $5.50 per share, $2.75 cash, and $2.75 CoStar stock, $34 billion company. And this is a huge data play. That's what this is. They want the data. This is a huge data play. Matterport hasn't been able to monetize their data yet, but they just did. They literally just did. Like, CoStar buying Matterport, wow. That is, honestly, like, hats off to CoStar. Hats off to CoStar. They are very, very, very smart. I love it. I have calls on Matterport. Let's go. Wow. CoStar. Not CoStar. CoStar. And they're up 40. Honestly, very smart. Very, very, very smart. I'm jealous. I would want to buy the whole Matterport if I could. I'd buy the whole freaking company if I could, because I'd run it a little differently too. We have different opinions for it. I'm not saying that the managers or the CEOs aren't doing well over there. It's everybody has sort of different opinions as to how to run it. But that's okay. I actually like the team over there, but you know, like, I think their Axis iPhone camera was a flop. That's just my opinion. They sent me one as a free sample, and I didn't make a public review on it. I just emailed them back. I'm like, look, these are my problems with it. Like, I appreciate it. You want me to send it back? And I never heard back from them. But anyway, this was honest. It's just like, sorry. So let's go. I want to see what CoStar's valuation is these days. It's actually, gosh, I'm jealous. That is such a, like, I want to do an acquisition like that. That is so cool. So CoStar right now, what's crazy is they're selling for a 140 PE ratio. How? CoStar Property Group. Yeah. Good Lord. 140 PE. I mean, they are expecting to have some substantial EPS growth. Let's see here. 39 and 21. Wow. Divided by 4. 59% growth is what's expected over there. So they're trading for about a 2.4 peg. So CoStar sells for about 140 PE slash 2.3 peg with 59% expected EPS growth over the next 4 years after December 2024. Wow. Well, good for them. Can't say I'm not jelly. Anyway, here's your BTC move here. Tripled your money if you bought Matterport around the current levels. Yeah, I mean, the way you have to look at it is, am I screwed with an average $3 on Matterport? No, because you're going to get 275, so you'll be down 25 cents on that. But then you're going to get 275 if the merger goes through. You get 275 of CoStar stock. So, then you could just sell the CoStar stock, so you'll be up, right? Between the Pro 3 and 3, which would you choose? Or 2 and 3? The 2, because the 3 forces you into the new plan. And to me, actually sounds like it's slower based on some of the reviews that I've watched. And I really value the speed. But I don't understand why it's slower. But some people are saying that. And I'm like, that's weird. But yeah, losing the existing subscription model sucks if you go to the 3. Now, I wonder if they do get approved, what CoStar is going to do to all the pricing. But, they could like include Matterport as a service on their commercial listings. Honestly, I think it's brilliant. Free doc review in Illinois and Indiana for home buyers. Nice. Elon Musk should learn from Mark Zuck. Ooh. Yeah, they could fight each other. Although I don't think that's ever going to happen. So, Tesla, let's see here. Just looking at some of your comments here. This is amazing news. I've been doubling down on Matterport. Yep. Let me pick you up in Seattle. Well, I'm not driving anywhere. Yeah. I've been sort of watching the Trump trial and thinking about covering it, but it's honestly been a little uneventful. So I think we have to get past jury selection, and then it'll get a little bit more entertaining. So we'll see what happens. Okie dokie. So let's see here. It's probably too early to buy the dip in the NASDAQ. Really? Breadth in the NASDAQ is not yet at depressed levels that would suggest a capitulatory low. NASDAQ breadth is worsening, but not quite at extremes. Yeah, that's a good point. But we haven't seen those levels in a while, those like extremes. We'd have to go down another 10-ish% in that measure. A little more work to do. Well, we'll see what earnings do this week. I think that's going to be the big driver of entertainment today. Is Matterport not diluting their shareholders? How is Matterport diluting their shareholders? CoStar is. But they're also getting an asset in return. Does the market have to get to extreme fear first before rebound? I don't know. It's all going to be driven by earnings. And look at BTC right now. BTC's running right now. They seem to be a bit enthused. So, let's see here. Okie dokie. Let's go with... Alright, Israeli military intelligence chief resigns over October 7th failure. It's amazing how long that's taken. That's very interesting. Now, what we got over here?
Alabama.
Perfect. That's the whole reason why they went there. I mean, remember, if you talk about why did they move there, which is, of course, totally inconvenient versus Michigan, and, well, it was to avoid precisely this. Ford reports this week. Ford is an inexpensive stock. Remember, Ford and GM, if you get out the non-financials and the S&P, they're right there at the bottom. I mean, they're hideous. And they need to show that they think their stocks are cheap. Now, GM has done a better job because it's got that monster buyback. But Ford's cheap, and I hope it's not cheap for a reason.
The reason being?
That it's doing poorly. Remember, they have ICE, and they have hybrid.
Somebody's asking about buying a ETF here with high cash balances. I actually think the beautiful thing about an ETF right now that buys stocks, because there are some ETFs obviously that are cash or bond heavy. I actually think the cool thing about an ETF that usually buys stocks in a strong economy, but has a lot of cash right now is that it creates buy the dip opportunity, right? In other words, like as things are falling, that theoretically should fall less. You know, depends what the other underlying assets are. And then there's a buy the dip opportunity with that cash. So there's some cool opportunities out there. So let's see here. TikTok is cracking down on Ozempic influencers. There are Ozempic influencers? My gosh. The app will no longer allow the marketing of weight loss products that will specifically restrict minors from viewing or sharing content that shows potentially harmful weight management behaviors, including before and after photos. Wow. All right.
Not that long ago, but
Like 1996?
well, there is this concern overall, as you well know, that at some point we may hit some sort of an air pocket, given the overall concerns about 34 trillion or more in overall debt and the interest costs for the budget in terms of what that's going to mean. So
March 8th again. I'm telling you, March 8th. That was when rates started, where people realized that the Fed had no control. They were still talking about cutting. That turned me on.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. That's why I think May 1 is gonna be fascinating for the Fed. Is how much control will they prove they have?
With 100,000 extra jobs.
Yeah, we're coming to Richmond, Virginia. Go to househack.com/RSVP or metkevin.com/roadshow, whatever. Where can I buy calls on the course prices? You know, we did actually just release a bunch of new lectures on the courses. It's actually really cool. We released a lecture for real estate agent, multiple lectures for do-it-yourself property management, 0 to millionaire real estate, stocks and psych, the YouTube course. I actually released quite a few. Let's see here. By the way, a lot of people don't know this, but let me see, where is it? I don't know if we have it there right now. Oh yeah, we don't have it there right now. How interesting. Okay, all right, well, we'll come back. So, yeah, all right, well, I'll bring that up a different time then. So, okay, very well. Let's go, let's keep looking. So, we've got, let's see how some of the pre-market sticks are doing. We've got about 16 minutes to the bell, and we'll see what we got here. So, Trump media is at 4.5, Tesla down 4.2. You've actually got gold and silver down a little bit today, down 2.5% to 4%. CoStar is actually down, probably on the dilutive effects of Matterport, and maybe investors don't realize that's actually a really good deal that they're doing. I mean, it does feel a little bit like you're overpaying for it, but that's what convinced the management to sell. Coinbase is up 2.6, Verizon's up 2, Sunrun's actually positive, so is Nvidia and Enphase. So a little bit of a rebound from last week. Nothing's really moving spectacularly, quickly here, but it does look like you've got the Qs that are sitting up 71 bips, and we've sort of been rising. So I'd be very curious to see if we get a nice sustained move up here or not, hopefully. But we shall see. Let's see here. Okay. They're on commercial, so let's go to, let's see what Doomberg has for us.
The wireless business trends, some analysts are saying, are solid. Now, Salesforce.com adding to previous gains, up 4.1%. The early news.
What do I think is a good hedge for people with a heavy Tesla position? Well, selling calls is an option. Literally, it is an option. Selling calls has always been interesting, although volatility is quite low on Tesla, ironically. Now, people think that's pretty wild. Like, how could volatility be low if it's going down? It's unfortunately because volatility is a matter of changing in directions and the rapidness of that. And so you actually have relatively low volatility right now on Tesla. Yeah, that's kind of wild. So selling calls might not be as desirable. You could go for longer dated puts. I don't know. It's raising cash, trimming. I always think is an option, but you kind of have to personally evaluate that.
Robo-taxis 5-6 years from now, we're talking right now, you're at the edge of a cliff. It's for must to bring it back, fork in the road, navigate through this Category 5 storm.
Well, Tesla faces the 7th consecutive day of declines and launching another major round of price cuts ahead of Tuesday's earnings. The conversation and context on Bloomberg.
Okay. Everyone's being boring this morning. I mean, in fairness, there isn't actually that much news. And I think sort of the lack of news in the Middle East, obviously there were some developments. I'm not suggesting there haven't been, but I think just the lack of news and some consolidation in the Middle East, some relaxations. Maybe that's sort of just driving some cheer in markets right now. Some enthusiasm. We'll see. Yeah. Then, let's see. I wonder. I can also take a peek to see what the suits are saying over the next 13 minutes here. Let's listen in here for a moment while I get that ready.
That's Senate Intel Committee Chair Mark Warner yesterday on Face the Nation after the House did pass legislation over the weekend that could ban TikTok in the U.S. unless ByteDance sells its stake in the app within 9 months, possibly extended to a year. The bill now goes to the Senate. Jim?
Yeah, look, I think that the information and the evidence, not there. I think that there's an understanding from Chinese hacking that you cannot trust China in any way, shape. The Chinese hacking has accelerated. David, it's almost unstoppable. So here's a form of Chinese influence that, let's just say, could be, but there's no real hard evidence. But if you think that you want to maybe cut down on cyber attacks, maybe you go after them here.
That has certainly been the case made by.
I wonder what everybody thinks here. Ban TikTok, no, or sell it, or what? I don't know. Seems to be a lot of division on that.
Successful private company
Right.
that, by the way, makes enormous profits in China itself through its apps there. Douyin being one of the key names, competes with the likes of Alibaba, actually has a value that is far above that of the public market value of Alibaba, just to put it in perspective, at least based on the last round. And if you even put a multiple on some of the numbers I hear in terms of the profitability of ByteDance. I say that because there are those who say, well, you know what, even if they were to close down the U.S., it wouldn't impact the company as much as you might think.
Right.
Although the value, obviously, is, you could argue, is quite high.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think even if they were, so to speak, banned, like the app would still exist. It's just, they'd have to have some form of American-based subsidiary that owns it. So, I don't think the app is going away as you know it. But that's, I think, what the impression is. It's a great way to spend a lot of time very quickly. I know that's a weird way to put it, but it's, boy. That is a time suck. So we got our boy Mike Wilson over here. Let's see what Mike Wilson's up to. How weird. I'm kind of bearish, like Mike has been. But we can finally align. We can finally be friends. Mike, we can be friends. All right, let's see what we got here. As higher rates pressure equity valuations, heavy fiscal spending, I believe he meant to say, appears to be making the inflation fight more challenging. Yeah, I think we got a little... I think he means heavy fiscal spending. There we go. Energy and quality remain high conviction longs. Having spent the last several weeks on the road, we offer responses to key questions. Several weeks on the road. Ooh, what are you doing, a roadshow? Our quick take on several of the key questions we're getting from investors. Could it be early cycle, given the rolling correction we've already experienced in many sectors? We're not of the view that we're in an early cycle environment given the tightness of the labor market, underperformance of equal weighted equities, and slow recovery of the ISMs and the lack of significant accommodation of monetary policy. We think underperformance of small caps and low quality stocks corroborates this view. Okay. So not sort of like a early cycle, like everything's going to the moon argument. Okay. Does it make sense to stick with quality given strong performance year to date? Yes, quality remains a long-term conviction for us. Okay. Usually he gives some specific stock recommendations. We'll see if he's updated those at all. I think he's been into like Coca-Cola and stuff. How much of your positive view on energy is dependent on geopolitical tensions? This is a reflection of an attractive fundamental setup. Relative earnings, attractive valuation, fresh free cash flow, below average leverage. What does the interest rate move mean for the near path of equity multiples? Oh yeah, I wonder how bonds are doing this morning. Let's take a peek at that. Oh, well, they're up again. 4.64 on the 10-year. Most of the rally in stocks in October due to higher valuations as a function of lower rates. It seems reasonable that multiples may now face headwinds. Right. That's my concern exactly, is that the Fed will finally matter again. The Fed will finally matter again. Make the Fed great again. How are you thinking about the election as a driver? VIX tend to pick up 2 to 3 months before an election. Quality defensives, large caps tend to outperform 6 months leading up to the election. Value shows outperformance in the 12 months following the election. Oh, that's an interesting argument. Okay. We believe equity markets have been trading poorly in April, primarily due to the repricing of Fed cuts. Yeah, I believe that. Finally, it matters again. Most of the rally has been due to higher valuations. Fine. Continue to recommend the energy sector. Aggressive fiscal stimulus. Let's see. Significant budget deficit. Blah, 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 blah. Fed went dovish in December, but inflation data is now preventing the Fed from following its dovish guidance. Yep. Right. Oh, he just goes deeper into each of the questions now. Okay, that's pretty boring. We kind of got the summary. Although, let me see if... Usually, if at the end, he'll give you a little bit. See, these are the sectors. And in addition to the sectors, is he going to give any particulars? Yes, he does. Oh, again, sectors. Never mind. Sectors. Sectors. Sectors, sectors, sectors. Ah, here we go. Yeah, see? Coca-Cola, Centerpoint Energy, Colgate Palmolive, McDonald's, Mondelez, Verizon, Walmart. Wonder how Walmart's been doing. Let's see here. Walmart. Wow, Walmart's actually been kicking booty. Holy smokers. So Walmart's been kicking booty. Coca-Cola, holding on. Colgate. Wow, Colgate's done really well too. MDLS or Z. Mondelez, somewhere in there. And then Centerpoint. Kind of sideways. Nothing compares to Wingstop. No. Yeah, it's true. It's so stupid. That's the kind of stuff that, like that and the Costco move, those things were leading me to start turning a little bearish too, in part. I'm like, wait a minute. We have just now lost our minds. The valuations are unhinged. Unhinged. So let's see what other comments we have here. How much could Nvidia run today? Hard to see a negative trading day doesn't get bought. Yeah, I actually do think we'll get a bounce today. we should get an AI bounce today. I mean, that was such a violent sell-off. Yeah, you're up 2% right now on NVIDIA. It wouldn't surprise me to see trend up here, but you know, it's gonna be revealing this week. We'll see. Let's see. Someone's asking about management fees. Yeah, the cost to run an ETF right now are like $500K a year. It's insane. It's so stupid. It should be way less than that. So, you know, takes time to grow to where they actually break even. Okay, so what are we doing now? We are 3 minutes away from the bell. And we are, let's see here, CNBC is doing nothing. Okay, well, that's not a surprise. They're on commercial. What about Doomberg?
Papa John's Pizza. There you go. Marianne Bartels joins me shortly to talk you through your risk on markets on Bloomberg.
Again. Once again, they just go right to commercial. People are boring. All these commercials. Crazy. Everyone's just on commercial. All right. So the question really is, what's the trade going to be today? And I think, I mean, just based on pre-market, it seems like there's some appetite for a rebound on these. You had a 731, so you're sort of in the middle of nowhere for NVIDIA. You know, 850 is your next line. I don't think you're going to see a run like that. Let's see here. What is this? Can't seem to get the email verification link for what? NV. Oh, just email staff@meetkevin.com. We can help you out. At 8 o'clock when the guys come in. So, yeah, there's clearly a rebound push here. So what are the trends today? Long AI apparently today. And this could change. You know, the first 10 minutes are crazy. Tesla's got a 152 line, but it's sort of broken away from this. And then Trump 35 again. DJT. But be careful. That one did not move much on Friday, so I don't know if today's going to be the day it actually starts moving again. But it's basically at that 35 level again right now. It's Trump playing that $35 level. I'm watching that. NVIDIA I don't really have any levels for because it just, you know, had such a heart attack. So we'll see what happens. Tesla, there really are no levels for this either. And I don't know if I mean, a big thing here is Wall Street going to be the one that actually drives this? Right? Is Wall Street going to drive the buying or selling today? I don't know. I'm very curious to find out. Well, let's get ready for it.
Where they are, I still think you could go to 160 without a problem.
You do?
Yeah.
We're getting closer and closer to June when we will get at least what we expect to be some significant information about their plans when it comes to generative AI.
And everyone's so bullish about that meeting, and I don't think that's the way to look at it. I think you have a new phone, 16, and that's what I care about. The Vision Pro, David, has disappeared from the air. I think that's a shame. That's a business-to-business product that they seem to think is a consumer product. Very important. But yeah, this is, again, a defense based on nothing. And I don't like that. There's nothing here that makes me want to buy out.
A bit of a wait on Apple earnings. They come on May 2nd. Let's get the opening bell here and the CBC real-time exchange and the big board. Amplify ETFs and Samsung Asset Management celebrating the launch of the Amplify Samsung SOFR ETF.
Okay, that's looking pretty green. Pretty green. Qs are trying to push on up. Looks like over 80% green. I got green candlesticks on the Qs. I've got trying to get some green there on Tesla after being down about 4.2%, 4.3. Did have a red candlestick there for a moment that drove it down to 5%, but you're back in the 3% range. You're about to turn green. DJT's going green. NVIDIA is stable at about 2.3. You might take off here in just a moment, though. We'll see what happens. I do see it feels like some enthusiasm. I don't know. Q's kind of flat. Tesla kind of flat to opening pricing. Bitcoin's flat to opening pricing. American Express going down. Apple's trying to come up. Let's go, Apple. Let's go. Enphase trying to move. Coinbase. Look at that Coinbase run. Dollar Hollis. You got ARM going back to $90. $90. You've got, NVIDIA turning, getting rejected at what looks like 782. That's a bizarre level. I mean, this could, the early minutes here are so wild. You just got to, yeah, look at that. It's going green right away again. So let's see if we can get through 782. It's last candle wick there. Tesla, you're sitting at, down about 4.7 right now. The Q's actually slipping, sitting at about 62. Slipping. Getting ready to drop below 66 on BTC. Looking for direction here. We're getting red on SMCI. Somebody here in the chat saying, sell while you can. Let's see here. Kevin, it sounds like Kevin owns Apple. I do own Apple. I do. I like Apple. I was using my Vision Pro to make I was review. The team did such a good job with it. But if you go to househack.com/2024, you can see the investor presentation we have. We did this investor presentation, and I used the Vision Pro to pull this thing up giant in front of me. And it was so great because I could look for, like typos or whatever. And it was great. It was so convenient for actually reviewing things. I really enjoyed that. So, I like my Vision Pro. I know a lot of people poopy-doopy on it, but I like it. All right, NVIDIA. Okay, yep, no hard stop there at 782. Back to about 2.8. Very nice. So, very good. You've got DJT dropping under that 35 level. Not a surprise. Does look like AI is going to try to rebound today. So, the rebound on the AI is real. The AI. You've got Tesla continuing that trend, unfortunately, down 5.3% here. You've got the Qs stable. BTC stable. You've got, let's see here, Dell up 175. Again, the return of the AI. Salesforce 2.8. Costco 3.0. Delta 80 bips. Restoration Hardware 25. You've got, what do we got here? Open Doors at 216. They're probably looking for a buyout too, aren't they? What's Open Doors value these days? Aren't they still over $1 billion? Stupid. Open Door 1.47. This is, I always look at them and I'm like, if they could be $1 billion company, we could make $1 billion company. Let's see if we could do it with HouseHack. Hashtag not guaranteed. Enphase gives up on its up 1% here. Wow. That's wild. Okay, so Enphase is trying to go back to flat here. ARM is continuing to run, trying to get above that 90. Apple's barely moving. Bitcoin just dropped below its 66. Tesla now down nearly 5.5%. Q's trying to push up, probably really being led by the AI move here. So let's take a listen here and see what we got.
Plus 20%, 20 EP. P that are going down, and then there's ones that have below 20 and they're going higher. It's about inexpensive stocks that are less affiliated with the bond market. Let's put it that way.
We should hit Verizon earnings, guys, because it is.
No, let's not. Quick reminder, if you haven't yet, go to househack.com/RSVP. RSVP. So househack.com/RSVP. Or if you remember the link, metkevin.com/roadshow, that works as well. We are doing literally 22 cities. 22 cities. Ooh, red candle there on NVIDIA. 22 cities in the next 8 days. And love to meet you, talk about investing in HouseHack. Obviously, if you're interested in investing in HouseHack, especially if you're an accredited investor, we'd love to have you. They're going to be about 60 minutes, so it'd be about maybe 20 minutes of me chatting, and then we'll just do Q&A, and then we go. We have 22 cities to hit in 8 days. It's a lot, but it's going to be fun, so I hope to see you there. Yep, Matterport still halted on its acquisition talks. Obviously, big news there about Matterport getting picked up by CoStar. That's a big deal. Let's see if NVIDIA can hold here. What's going on? We're watching on the. Let's go to this is the non-average candlestick. Looks like we're really having trouble holding on to that 780 there on NVIDIA. Really bobbing around a little bit there. Wingstop moves up 1%. I hate that company. Wow, Tesla comes back. Look at that recovery. You were down to 5.5 for a moment there. 5.5. And now you're getting back to only about 4% down right now. So you're getting that buy the dip on Tesla. Look at that. It's getting pretty extreme there. You are the day before earnings though, so not a surprise to see a little bit of volatility come into the stock the day before earnings. Bitcoin is dropping 65.8. NVIDIA is trying to run back up. Really trying to find a direction here. It looks like the DJT is very thinly traded right now. Not a lot of people really watching that DJT. Let me see if AMC is getting it. No, AMC is not the attention today. I think today it's AI. The traders are going to move over here to AI. We're not sure. I mean, you've got Enphase just turned negative. AI is the trade today. I think the volumes are too low on AMC. DJT, way too low of volumes, just not going to make money. And trying to play this is going to be the interesting one because you do have such volatility, lack of direction, I should say, in the open. It does feel like it's supposed to be upward direction, but boy, these are some interesting moves. AMC just went negative about 60 bips, and Tesla's recovering, sitting only around 4% down right now, which is still bad, but it's better than where it was. As you can see, though, the Qs are really trying to give up a little bit here. Qs now only have 50 bips, which there was a moment there where we were up over 70 bips, and there was a thought, okay, are we really going to get some buy the dipping here? Are we going to get some moving? Struggling to stay above that 417 line right now, so watching. Let's listen in over here for a moment.
Cisco has a thing on college campuses? No. On campuses of corporations.
Boring. Let's jump on over to, Tesla 3.5 now. It's really trying to recover. Listen.
Is that a light nap or the beginning of something more brutal and more tiring?
Well, we came into the year expecting both the equity market and the bond market to be bucking. We called it, the bucking bull. Bonds have certainly, in the whole fixed income spectrum, have bucked a lot more this year. This is the real first bucking we're getting from the equity markets. But we have to put this into perspective. The markets have been in an upward trajectory.
Bucking, like bucking the bull. NVIDIA is trying to move up again, 2.7 right now.
A natural correction, you can correct up to 1/3 to 1/2 of any move. So we are down to around the 100-day moving average for the S&P. NASDAQ's already through that. So the risk is that we're still going to have a little bit more bucking. We could have a little bit of a rally because markets are oversold. But the risk is that we test the 200-day moving average where we get a full 10 to 11% correction. But
3% on NVIDIA.
Of the market.
So we're running into some pretty big, important announcements in Mag 4 this week from Tesla, chaos, or genius. We will make up our mind tomorrow. NVIDIA will come a little bit further down in May. As you look at the event risk this week, what is it that could upset the equity market the most? Is it big notes like UBS who've downgraded to neutral on Mag 6? They say investors attribute the run in the mega cap stocks to animal spirits and the impact of AI. However, our work indicates that surging earnings momentum fueled this update. Unfortunately, that momentum is collapsing. Are you that doubtful on the earnings within the Mag, well, you can call it Mag 6 or Mag 7, whatever you want. Are you doubtful on the momentum of the earnings? Earnings were supposed to fill the gap here.
Well, if you look at street analysts and what they're estimating for Mag 7, it's the strongest pocket of earnings, and it has been, and it's expected to continue. But where I think you can get the market moving as these companies report, the earnings are looking backwards. Analysts want to see where
right.
numbers are going forwards. So what companies are saying about their business and where they see their business going, I think is going to be a lot more important to the behavior of the market. And then on Friday, we get core PCE, and that could be another market mover. Now, data has been market movers since 2023. I mean, data moves markets. The question is, can earnings sustain their momentum? And when we look at the economy, at least the Atlanta GDP Now model is estimating that the economy is growing almost at 3%.
Yeah.
And companies have been able to maintain their margins, and we think margins have troughed and bottomed and can actually grow. So we think the outlook for earnings overall remains very robust, which is one of the reasons why we want to buy this pullback.
Okay, I'm not that.
Yeah, buy this pullback. Well, you are getting some recovery here. Look at Tesla. Tesla's really trying to move here. Nvidia's trying to move. It's up about 3. AMC's really getting left behind on this move. AMC down about 2.6 right now. But it looks like the Qs are back to 70 bips right here. So it does look like you're pushing that bullishness today. BTC still under 66, but is recovering a bit. And Enphase goes positive again. So some of that initial pain has sort of worn away. Palantir positive here. Amazon's positive by about 2%. Apple was up a little bit as well. Nvidia's really playing the bobber rand right around this level here, but it's this 782 level. We'll see where it moves, as well as some big volatility there on Tesla. Now only down about 3.4, which, it's still a move, but it's certainly way better than what we saw this morning, where you were sitting there for a moment. You were as low as 5.5% down, which wasn't great. Getting that red candle here on Nvidia. Again, a lot of volatility here in the morning as folks are trying to figure out, hey, which way are we going to be moving on these stocks? Looks like you're sitting down about 2.4 now on Nvidia. Again, it's trying to bounce there at that what feels like getting a lot of activity there at that 780 figure. Let's see if we end up breaking through that 780 figure. What's going on? Look at that! Almost. Come on, is he going to bounce on it? Oh, yep, look at that. It's entertainment. All right, so now we are, let's see what other news there is. News. Growth stocks rebound on the hinges of tech earnings. Yeah, we'll see how that rebound holds. Let's see here. Salesforce, Target, Informatica says it's not in takeover talks. Okay. Let's see. Trump's trial is the reality show he didn't want. Okay, interesting title. Okay. Lots of earnings to do this week. Yes. Let's see here. Iran is now able to conduct a nuclear test with just 1 week notice. Some say it's too early to buy the dip. Let's see. What else? Some plane lost a landing gear. Was it a Boeing? Yeah, it is. Boeing 787. It's just always the Boeings, isn't it? Lost a wheel from its landing gear shortly after departing from Johannesburg. Anyway, continuing to pump over here. So you're up $5 again off of that 780. So I feel like that 780 continues to be a line. Let's throw a little horizontal and look at it a little closer here. So 780. Let's make that one of our day lines here. Yeah, it's a little tough to tell. I mean, it was only really these two candles here, but that seems to be sort of where you're magneting around. Yeah. Yes, Alex, if you sign up for the roadshow, you'll get linked the address. So that's househack.com/RSVP. And then we'll see you. I mean, we got 22 cities to go to. It's going to be crazy. So hope to see you there. All right, continuing to get a move up here. The trend seems to be pretty clear today, as we've been talking about the last 15 minutes now. You've got the Qs trying to stay positive over here. Tesla's trying to stay positive. You're at about 3.1 to the downside now. Oh, you're at 299 now. Look at that. Yeah, so got a nice little candlestick there. Nvidia pushing again, 3.4 right now. Means ARM's probably up, what, 5 or 6? SMCI's up a couple. ARM's up 5.25. Solar Edge is actually down. ASML's up 1. Yeah, this is pretty remarkable. Okay. So 3.5 now on Nvidia, $8, $9 away now from that level. AMC continues to bleed. DJT is doing nothing. Tesla's only down 2.9. Some buy the dippins coming in today before earnings. BTC back to 66. Apple's only up 40 bips. So Apple's kind of being left behind a little bit there. It was up 50 bips when other stocks weren't doing as hot, and it's somewhat being left behind. So we'll see here. DJT is also recovering. Look at that, over the 35 line, and getting some more volume over there. What about AMD? How's AMD? AMDizzle. Oops, that's AMC. AMD not getting the volume that Nvidia is, but is up about 1.5. And then you have, let's see, AMD. How about, what's another one? How about TSM? How are they doing today? TSM today, yeah, basically down 1/3%, so not getting much movement over here. Tesla and Nvidia seem to be the ones moving today. Although Supermicro's trying to come back. Little red candles. Well, we'll see how much these hold. Coinbase, look at that Coinbase move. You know, what's funny is I was recording lectures this weekend, and I'm like, you know, if I wanted to make a bet on Monday morning, I'd be going for a 223 bet on Coinbase, because this is usually the move that it makes. Sure enough, at open, there you go, 223 on coin, there it is. 6% up on ARM, so really that full buy the dip in motion. Only 2.7 now on Tesla, so a lot of enthusiasm coming in for buying the dips, the dipadoozles. So let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, coin running, exactly. See that here. All right, let's listen in. Let's see what this suit's saying. Nothing.
TikTok back in the spotlight on Capitol Hill over the weekend. The House fast-tracking legislation forcing the company's Chinese parent, ByteDance, to divest its ownership stake by tying it, I should say, to an aid package for Ukraine and Israel. TikTok pushing back, writing a memo to the staff, quote, "At the stage that the bill is signed, we will move to the courts for a legal challenge." Will that be worth having at that juncture? Amory Hordern is with me now. Let's flick it on its head. I mean, TikTok potentially being divested from ByteDance. They will challenge it. Lay out the rationale, just once again, on why the government here want TikTok, as it were, to be moved away from ByteDance. What is the simple rationale?
The simple rationale and the concern that you hear a lot in Washington is the national security concerns around TikTok, the algorithm, and the concern that they have is that this data, American data, can be accessed by China, by the Chinese Communist Party, which is why TikTok has gone to great lengths to try to keep some of that data in the United States. They've done this thing called Project Texas, but it doesn't seem like any of this has had the ability to assuage concerns of these officials. So we've been talking about for years now whether or not TikTok, potentially there could be a ban in the United States or divestment.
But what's the value in the divested version of TikTok? ByteDance divests itself of TikTok. That vehicle needs to have the algo technology that allows it to be special, the special sauce in the algos. My question is, if ByteDance sells off or hives off TikTok in the United States of America, what's the value? Because we know Steve Mnuchin and a few other people want to bid for it, potentially.
Right, there could be potentially a consortium of investors who want to get action on this, or a massive Big Ten company that maybe would want to buy it, but then potentially that would be regulatory issue.
Steve Mnuchin!
Fisher Retire Right Kit. 3 guides to retirement income, paying for health care.
Yeah, I don't think it would surprise me at all to see some of these U.S. investment firms try to snag up some of these Tic Tac shares if they could. Wouldn't surprise me. So market overall seems to be pretty positive at the moment. 82 bips on the Nas. It's even better than where we were when we opened up here. So we've got a nice leg up over here, back over 66K on BTC. Let's see if it holds. I think it's actually very important that it holds today. We want the bounce to hold today. We don't want a recession-inducing sell-off. You know, the worst thing would be like another like 10% down day, right? Yeah, Matterport open. Well, it should be up substantially because it's getting bought out for 550. Yep, there's your gap up, 480. So the discount between 550 and 480 is the discount for CoStar shares and the risk that the deal doesn't happen. But yeah, big move there on Matterport on the acquisition. Good news for Matterport. Really, really good news for Matterport. Big old lifeline there getting bailed out. And honestly, I think a brilliant move by CoStar. A real estate firm picking up Matterport is the smartest thing that somebody could do. A big fan of that. I ship it. I love it. So, yeah. Okay. Very well. Now, what else is there? Let's see what they're saying over here.
Around 86.5. We'll keep our eye on oil volatility, although gasoline futures are about the lowest in about a month. We'll get stopped trading with Jim in a minute. S&P 49.92.
Somebody's wondering if kids are welcome at the roadshow. If you want to bring kids, it doesn't matter to me as long as they're not like screaming. You know, I love kids, but you know, it's gonna be hard to have a conversation if they're screaming. So, but other than that, of course, I'm a big fan of kids. So, yeah. So just add them in your little, like when you fill out the form, the little +1 section. Okay, good. So again, that's househack.com/RSVP if you want to come learn about House Hack, especially if you're accredited. The expiration for that is May 1st. Make sure to read the solicitation materials over at househack.com/2024. This video is not one. Okay, so Coinbase up 7%. Nvidia's up 426 here. Good, solid recoveries. CoStar's up 2. That doesn't surprise me. Initially, it was down there in the pre-market. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I kind of think that's a brilliant move. Is DJT climbing? Is alcohol being served at the roadshow? Nothing's being served. Bring your own whatever you want. No, it's literally like we're spending as little as possible. So I'm going to show up. Here's your pamphlet. Talk for a bit, and then we're out of there. It's not like a big event. It's literally just a little like, sup everyone, here's some info. It'd be very basic. By design. Househack don't got money to spend on booze for everyone. Probably also not a good look for the SEC. Yeah, we liquored up all our investors. Tesla really trying to run that recovery here. Look at that, up 2%. We're about to go into that 1% range here, so very good. Don't fight the trend. Trend is up right there on Tesla. You're looking at trying to get some red candles over here on the Qs. Looks like there could have been a little bit of topping out at about 951. Yeah, a little bit of top in there. 951. Yeah, looks like Nvidia is seeing a little bit of that topping as well. That could be very temporary, but you know, TSM tried having a little catch up. Now it's getting a little bit of a down push here. Donnie T is trying to run. The volatility kind of came out of nowhere for that one. Wingstop's up 2%. It's crazy. Tesla still trying to push up. Tesla's not topping out at 951. It's about to go into that 1% range. Although you're still seeing the oopsies there on the Qs. Let's see how long that lasts. Super micros back to red. Wow. Apple's consolidating, doing nothing. ARM's up 6. Also topping out a little bit at the moment. And how's Amazon? Airbnb's up 1.1. Amazon's up 1.5. Whirlpool down 6.4. PayPal down 1.2. How about Palantir? Dell's up 2. Palantir. 1.3 on Palantir. Yeah, NVIDIA rolling over a little bit at the moment. A little bit of a rollover there. Not a surprise when you get such a violent sort of buy the dip there at the open. And yeah, somebody here says Matterport cost basis is 350. What's the benefit of selling now versus holding? Well, if you held and the merger went through, you'd get 550. You know, some of that 275 would technically be CoStar shares, so those could move on their own. However, there's a risk the deal doesn't go through. If the deal doesn't go through, the stock will go back to $2 or lower. And, you know, so now you're able to realize 480, which would be a gain. Oh yeah, rate cuts. Let's see what the rate cuts chart says. The world interest rate probability chart. Let's find out. We are at 1.59. 1.59 cuts. Now, 1.59 cuts coming in. That's the current expectation, at least. So, a little bit of a recovery there again on NVIDIA, so we'll watch. So, let's see here. There's a little upside after a buyout is announced, not advice, but sell buyout news. Yeah, it's probably not a horrible suggestion just because there's so much risk of the deal getting canned. You know, but if it goes through, obviously you'll make the extra, you know, 10%. I mean, that's really what you're doing is you're trying to bet on the extra 10 or 12%. But if there's a broader market correction, you know, CoStar shares could become a lot less valuable. Or the deal just doesn't go through at all, and they try to renegotiate a lower price. But who knows? So, all right. I think it's time to push the button.
Go yourself. Is that clear?
Even though I'm a licensed financial advisor, real estate broker, and becoming a stockbroker, this video is neither personalized financial advice nor real estate advice for you. It is not tax, legal, or otherwise personalized advice tailored to you. This video provides generalized perspective, information, and commentary. Any third-party content I show should not be deemed endorsed by me. This video is not and shall never be deemed reasonably sufficient information for the purpose of evaluating a security or investment decision. Any links or promoted products or even affiliations or products or services which we may benefit from. I personally operate and actively manage ETF and hold long positions in various securities, potentially including those mentioned in this video. However, I have no relationship to any issuers other than HouseHack, nor am I presently acting as a market maker. Ooh, a bounce on 790 now for NVIDIA. 780, 790. Very tens based, huh? It was a little below 790. But, yeah, look at that, like, march up on the buy the dipples there on Tesla. Again, you need this stuff to hold. You need it to hold today. It's so important. Hold, hold, hold. You do not want to see the market today go red. If the market goes red today, I don't know, folks. That's scary. It would be very, very, very scary for the bounce today to completely evaporate. That would be very bad. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I mean, right now the bounce feels relatively robust, but as you know, anything can happen. So we'll see. But it'll be a big deal, especially with earnings coming up tomorrow. So we'll see. So yeah, with that said, I'm going to go make another cup of coffee. New lectures are out if you're a course member. I posted those in the Discord, exactly which new lectures to look for. And also keep in mind that I'm going on an 8-day, 22-city tour for HouseHack. So if you would like to be there, I'd love for you to be there. That just sign up for that and look for the different locations by going to househack.com/RSVP. RSVP. And as we always say, what do we always say? Entertainment guaranteed. But yeah, I think if you actually go to househack.com/2024, there are a few links there that you could see. You could see the roadshow is right here. So the roadshow link's right here. How to get your accredited investor letter, the investor presentation, and the PPM. They're all linked right here. So RSVP for the roadshow. You've got the Invest Ready letter if you want to make an investment, the investor presentation, and the PPM, revised April 19th. So this is very important, obviously, to read. It's the actual solicitation, whereas this is just sort of information on the website. All right, folks, thanks for being here. See you in the next one. Goodbye, good luck, and Godspeed.